In Santa Clara, an armored truck leaves a factory. Inside isn't cash or gold. It carries plates of silicon worth more than a small nation's GDP. This is the H100. It isn't just heavy, it is dense. Compute concentrated into a slab you can hold. Companies are fighting wars to secure a shipment. CEOs went public, orders went private. The most powerful men in Silicon Valley started begging for allocation. They don't want the chip, they need the survival. One unit costs tens of thousands. Margins hit 75%. It is the closest thing to a money printer in the history of computer hardware. The energy density is massive. It generates 700 watts of heat. You need liquid cooling just to keep the silicon from melting into useless slag. Nvidia designs the blueprints. They do not build the chip. That happens in Taiwan. TSMC factories run 24 hours a day. The machines never stop moving. The restriction is not the silicon, it is the packaging. CoWoS, chip on wafer on substrate. A complex sandwich of memory and logic that bottlenecks the world. Waiting times hit 50 weeks. Startups failed while waiting for delivery. Venture capitalists bought chips instead of investing in companies. The hardware became the currency. The man behind the shortage wears a black leather jacket, Jensen Huang. He does not speak like a CEO. He speaks like an engineer obsessed with scale. In 1993, graphics were a joke. Computers could barely render text. Jensen saw a future of 3D polygons. He built a card to calculate geometry fast. Gaming was the start, but the math was universal. Calculating the trajectory of a bullet in a game is the same as calculating a stock crash. He bet the entire company on a single idea: parallel processing, doing 1,000 small tasks at once instead of one big task very quickly. Intel laughed at the idea. They focused on the CPU, the brain. Jensen focused on the GPU, the muscle. The muscle just became the new brain. Everyone looks at the stock price. They see the hardware monopoly. They see the shipping containers, but they are looking at the wrong thing. The hardware is just the bait. The trap is invisible. It is not made of silicon. It is made of language, and you cannot escape it. The company almost died twice. In 1996, they were 30 days from bankruptcy. Jensen had to fire half his staff to keep the lights on. He cut costs. He killed products. He focused everything on one chip, the Riva 128. It sold 1 million units in 4 months. It saved them. But gaming wasn't enough. Jensen saw the data centers. He saw the cloud. He started building chips for servers before the servers even existed. This is where the real story begins. Not with the metal, but with the language. The language that enslaved the entire tech industry for 20 years. The year is 2006. Nvidia stock is flat. Jensen makes another bet. He releases a software platform called CUDA. Nobody asked for this. Before CUDA, programming a GPU was a nightmare. You had to trick the graphics card into thinking math equations were actually pixels and triangles. CUDA acted as a universal translator. It allowed developers to speak directly to the silicon using standard C++ code. The barrier to entry vanished. Nvidia gave it away for free. They pushed it into universities. Thousands of computer science students learned CUDA as their first language. They got hooked. Then came 2012, the AlexNet moment. Researchers realized these gaming chips could train neural networks faster than anything else, but only if they used CUDA. This was the Trojan horse. It looked like a benevolent gift to the development community. In reality, it was the foundation of an operating system for reality. Fast forward to today. The entire AI ecosystem is built on this foundation. Millions of lines of code, thousands of libraries, all written in CUDA. Moving off Nvidia is not just changing hardware. It means rewriting the fundamental laws of your software universe. The switching costs are astronomical. Competitors like AMD have powerful chips. Sometimes they are even faster, but nobody knows how to talk to them. Their hardware is silent. An AI researcher wants to train a model today. They do not want to debug driver issues. They download a CUDA library and start working. It feels like convenience. It feels like speed. But every line of CUDA code written is another toll booth on Nvidia's private highway. There are now 5 million CUDA developers worldwide. That is an army that ensures no other hardware company can enter the battlefield. This software monopoly allows them to charge massive margins. You are not paying for the metal, you are paying for the language. The translation layer trap. Companies built tools to translate CUDA code into something else. Zluda, HIP. They all failed the same brutal way. Translation is slow. It adds latency. In high-frequency trading or real-time AI, latency is death. You need to speak the native language to survive. Google built the TPU, the Tensor Processing Unit. It is brilliant hardware, but it is a walled garden inside a walled garden. Only for Google. If you build on TPU, you are trapped in Google Cloud. If you build on CUDA, you can go anywhere. AWS, Azure, Oracle. The libraries are the lock: PyTorch, TensorFlow, Pandas. Every major data science library is optimized for Nvidia first. Everything else is an afterthought. Other giants woke up too late. They see the prison walls. Now they are desperately trying to tunnel underneath them. The results are brutal. But tunneling takes years. And while they dig, Nvidia is adding another layer of concrete to the wall every single quarter. Enter the kill zone. Dozens of startups tried to fight this. Billions of dollars were burned. They all face the same ending. GraphCore raised $700 million. The architecture didn't fail. The ecosystem did. Developers didn't want to learn a new language. The company withered. AMD is the only real contender. The MI300 is a monster engine, but the transmission is broken. Their software, ROCm, has been a decade of frustration. This is the Stack Overflow problem. If you have a problem with CUDA, 5,000 people have solved it. If you have a problem with ROCm, silence. Intel tried to fight back with the Gaudi chip. They promised an open ecosystem, but promises don't compile code. The market ignored them. Venture capitalists stopped funding chip startups. It became a graveyard sector. Why invest in a company that has to fight a 20-year software head start? When a new AI model drops on GitHub, the README file always says the same thing. Requirements: NVIDIA GPU. It is not a suggestion, it is a law. This is the feedback loop. More users means better software. Better software brings more users. The flywheel is spinning so fast it creates its own gravity. Nvidia does not need to attack its rivals. It just waits. It waits for them to realize that hardware without software is just expensive sand. The only way to break the monopoly is to rewrite the entire internet's backend code. And nobody has the time. Nobody has the money. Microsoft is trying. They are building the Maya chip. But even the biggest company in the world is still buying thousands of H100s. They have no choice. This is not a market. It is a hostage situation. The ransom is paid in margin, and the price goes up every year. The kill zone is silent. There are no explosions, just the sound of startups shutting down their servers one by one. Jensen Huang built a moat so wide that even Google cannot swim across it. He didn't build it with silicon. He built it with syntax. But the story doesn't end with dominance. It ends with sovereignty. Nvidia is no longer a company. It is becoming a state. In 2024, the game changed. It wasn't about chatbots anymore. It was about national defense, the Pentagon, the Ministry of Defense. They all called Jensen. The kill zone expanded. It now includes countries. If you cannot get the chips, your economy falls behind. You become a third world digital nation. This is the new arms race. But instead of uranium, we are enriching silicon. And there is only one arms dealer in town. The dealer doesn't care who wins. He just sells to everyone who can pay, and the price is absolute loyalty to the ecosystem. We are now ready to see the final trap, the one that locks us in forever, the energy limit and the omniverse. The customer list changed in 2023. It used to be gamers. Then it was tech CEOs. Now it is nations. Governments are buying H100s like weapons. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, France. They are building sovereign AI. They realize that if they do not own the compute, they do not own their culture. Nvidia is now a matter of national security. The US government banned the export of high-end chips to China. Jensen had to obey the White House. This created a black market. In Shenzhen, H100 chips are smuggled like contraband. The price is triple. Desperate engineers buy them in back alleys. But there is a limit. It is not money. It is not silicon. It is physics. The next wall for Nvidia is the power grid. A single data center now consumes as much power as a small city. Microsoft and Amazon are looking at nuclear reactors just to run their clusters. We are burning coal and splitting atoms to ask a chatbot a question. The ratio of energy to intelligence is becoming unsustainable. Jensen knows this. That is why the next chip, Blackwell, isn't just faster. It connects chips together to act as one giant superorganism. The goal is not a computer. The goal is a digital twin of the Earth, a simulation so accurate it can predict the weather. This is the omniverse, industrial manufacturing moving entirely into simulation. BMW builds cars in Nvidia's world before they build them in ours. If Nvidia controls the simulation, they control the reality. Every factory, every robot, every self-driving car will run on their physics engine. The valuation reflects this: $4.5 trillion. It is the most valuable company on Earth, an economic anomaly. Critics call it a bubble. They compare it to Cisco in 2000. They say demand will dry up. They say the AI hype is fake. But Cisco built routers, pipes for the internet. Nvidia is building the brain. You can stop building pipes. You cannot stop thinking. The danger is not that the bubble bursts. The danger is that it hardens, that this monopoly becomes permanent infrastructure for the human race. We have put all our eggs in one basket, one company, one architecture, one man in a leather jacket holding the keys to the future. If TSMC is blockaded, the world stops. If CUDA is hacked, the world stops. We built a single point of failure for civilization. The stock price will move, up or down, it doesn't matter. The infrastructure is laid, the concrete is dry, we are locked in. The CUDA prison is comfortable, it is fast, but make no mistake, it is a prison, and we are all inside.